And so he acknowledges that he is not a great speaker. And maybe he was not bad a speaker at all, but these Corinthians, being accustomed to Greek culture, acquiring Greek culture, they still had that custom of, putting up on a pedestal great orators, philosophers and orators, debaters, and so there were these great people that got up and spoke and gave great speeches. But Paul did not meet their expectations. Just as any person with negative volition, he will find an excuse to be negative and start nitpicking here and there. So the Corinthians found the right spot, and that is his oratory skills. Paul says, "For although I may be unskilled in speech as a speaker." There is no verb here, it's elliptical. So we add the verb, first person singular, present, active, indicative of me. For I am. For although I am. But in English we would say although I may be. We would have to use the subjunctive. For although I am unskilled as a speaker in speech, literally. And now he uses the next word, Allah. But, strong contrast. I may be skilled as a speaker, but here Allah gives you a contrast between the reality in the previous clause and here. What really matters in the next part, what matters is the doctrine that God has given him. And so what do we have? The negative and another dative of sphere here of nose. And so, but not, and then in the sphere of gnosis, dative singular of gnosis, or gnose. And this means knowledge. We've seen this word many times, gnosis. We've seen that its verb is cognate, gnosko. We've seen other words that have gnosis, such as epignosis, compound words. And I've made it clear that it can get very technical, and gnosis can be knowledge inside of your left lobe. This is knowledge that you've understood as a believer, but that does not mean that you can use it every time that you learn doctrine. As you're learning Bible doctrine right now, you're receiving the information, but it does not mean that you are able to use it. You have to transfer it to your right lobe, your heart. And once you transfer it, it becomes epignosis. This is the difference between gnosis and epignosis. How do you transfer it so that it can become epignosis? You have to believe it. So this is where you use faith. You transfer, I believe it, boom, and you transfer. Every single day as you're learning Bible doctrine, you transfer the doctrine so that it can go into your right lobe and it can become part of you. It can renew you, and you can use it for application. Here, we're not going to use it that way. It just uses gnosis in general for both epignosis, knowledge that you've understood, the knowledge that Paul has understood and has in his heart. He has understood and metabolized. And also for other areas of knowledge that Paul is about to reveal to them. So he just uses it in general, gnosis, but not in the sphere of knowledge. This is his doctrine. God has called Paul out of a great religionism, out of persecuting many Christians, and God said, I'm going to use this man. This is part of God's great grace and part of his sense of humor. And in God's sense of humor, he made Paul the super apostle with great doctrinal information. The Corinthians have nothing for Paul. Paul has everything for the Corinthians. Okay, so we have this first clause here, part of the process of the first class condition. And although I may be unskilled as a speaker, I am not in the sphere of knowledge. How did I translate it? I may be unskilled as a speaker, but not in knowledge. There's no verb here, as you can see. We bring over here the first person singular, present active indicative of Amy, and insert it. But not in knowledge. Principle, your pastor, whoever he is, he may not be a great speaker. He might speak in a terrible way. He might stutter. He might use a lot of ums, little things that we do not like. But if he has the correct information, and if he's your right pastor, then you're going to have to deal with it. And so it takes a lot of humility and objectivity on your part to be able to subordinate, to submit to your pastor's teaching, even though his speaking skills are not that great. Many people become frustrated with other people's way of speaking because they do not meet their standards of speaking, and this is a great frustration for certain people. It can be a lot of snobbery as well. Oh my gosh, some people are great snobs in the area of speaking, and this is no area to become arrogant about. Wow, he can speak great. Oh wow. And the ladies, obviously, they often become amazed by someone that can speak, another lady that can speak loud and can speak assertive. They seem to be impressed by these things. But many times it's arrogance, many times it's just, it can involve great humility. But the content is what matters. There's been great pastors who did not have great speaking ability, but their doctrine was on point. They gave you everything point by point, teaching verse by verse by verse. And what was the criticism by other people? Why did certain people not stay and learn under them? Because they were. They said, oh, he was not a great speaker. He stutters too much. Or something about his antics. Or something about his appearance. They were judging according to superficial appearance. He's blinked his eyes too much. He went, I don't know, something weird. Some people always have these little weird antics when they're speaking. And so what? If he has the correct message, then it is what it is. You have to learn under him, if he's your right pastor. Okay, so Paul has the correct doctrine. No excuse. He has the correct doctrine. The Corinthians are going to have to put up with it, these negative ones. So what do we have? Although I may be untrained as a speaker or unskilled as a speaker, I am not in knowledge. And then what does he say about this knowledge? And then Allah here, a strong contrast. So we have Allah here, but Allah here as well. What do you contrast with? Well, many times it becomes emphatic to what was just previously said. But not in knowledge. And we say but, or we can translate it in fact. Two negatives here can become emphatic here. And so we're going to translate it in fact. Paul's about to say what he has been doing with this knowledge. He has not concealed it. He has given it to them. But not in knowledge, in fact. And then we have here, if you're looking for the nominative case, you're not going to find it, but you are going to find a nominative in the participle here of phaneroo, phanerosantes. And yes, indeed, this is the nominative case. And it is the verb. It produces the action of the verb. And so, in fact, phanerontes, communicating well. What does phaneroo mean, first of all? Phaneroo means the shine of light, manifesting or revealing. It's a technical word for communicate the word of God. To shine the light on the truth. It goes back to our lamp analogy in 2 Corinthians chapter 4. I don't know if you recall. It goes back to that lamp analogy in 2 Corinthians chapter 4. You shine the light on the truth so that people can see it. And that's exactly what the pastor, teacher must do. To shine the light on the truth. How does he do it? By communicating the word of God. The evangelist, what does he do? He shines the light on the gospel, a portion of truth pertinent to the salvation of people. So he shines the light on the gospel. And how does he do that? By communicating the gospel to unbelievers. The evangelist is for unbelievers, as a communicator to unbelievers, while the pastor is a communicator to believers. He communicates the whole realm of doctrine. The evangelist many times is sensational. Oh, people love to hear him. He speaks great. The pastor, many times he's a drudge, and he speaks boring, and he communicates the whole realm of doctrine, point by point by point. Nevertheless, both of them are fanerosantes. They're shining the light on a piece of truth, a portion of truth. Okay? But shining the light, revealing, manifesting. And so this is a word for communicating. This is aorist, an aorist active indicative of phanero om. The aorist tense is a constitutive aorist, collecting into one entirety all the times that he has been communicating the word of God to the Corinthians. Paul's telling him that I have not hidden anything. All the doctrine that I know, I've given it to you. Well, not all of it. The pastor also has to be sensitive to the people's spiritual growth. He understands that they do not have the capacity to understand this technical doctrine and this other technical doctrine, so he keeps it a little bit to their level, giving a little bit here, a little bit new here, a little something new here, but step by step by step. And so as they start growing, he's able to give them more technical knowledge. And those who are behind, or those new members of the congregation who might not understand, well, he cannot go behind and teach them, but thankfully we are living in a time where there's technology, and these new members of the congregation, those baby Christians who are positive towards doctrine, can receive the previous basic doctrines from technology, from MP3s, from USBs, of online. So thankfully we're living in the time of technology, where technology can be used for great things, and technology can also be used for terrible things. But let's not get there. Let's not go there right now. Okay, but shining the light, having shown the light, having communicated, in fact, having communicated, shining the light. The active voice, here, Paul produces the action of a verb. It is plural, antes. It is plural, so it talks about, it's a reference here to Paul and his team. Communicating, revealing, shining the light. And what does he say? So we have here n plus the dative of sphere, and then we have of pas in the singular. And over here we have n plus the dative of sphere of the same word pas in the plural. And so, but having communicated in all things here, and plus the dative singular of pas, in everything, in every way. And then let's move on. So in every way, having communicated. And then n plus pas again in the plural, in the sphere of all things. So what does this mean? Pas many times this can be technical, but having communicated in every way, in the sphere of all things. And then eis plus the direct object of su, humas, the accusative. Eis plus the accusative here is directional to y'all, to you Corinthians. And so he tells them, I might not be skilled as a speaker, but I am skilled in knowledge. In fact, he has communicated everything to them. He has communicated the word of God. This is the communication of Bible doctrine. This means shining the light. I refer you back to 2 Corinthians chapter 4 in case you need to see the lamp analogy. It is to shine the light on the truth. This is where the pastor exposes the truth, not hiding anything. Whereas the Judaizers had some knowledge here and there. But they also had a lot of false doctrine, a lot of legalism, a lot of religionism. But they often concealed things for fear of giving it all away too fast or too quickly, or revealing the secret to their success, or exposing the reality of their deception. See, pastors nowadays often conceal things in the fear of giving it all away too fast, or giving away too valuable information for the benefit of their people. And thereby, it results in the pastor not being able to be the only one possessing that knowledge to his benefit. Have you ever had a little trick here and there, a secret to the success in area, and you did not reveal that secret to someone else who asked you? That other person told you, come on, tell me how to do it, come on. And you say, nope, I'm not going to tell you. And what was the motive for not telling him? The motive was that you were afraid that that person might have the secret to your success. And so many pastors do struggle with this, especially if they're not pastors who are faithful to the Word of God, and their motives aren't ulterior. Then they will struggle with certain areas where they're not going to want to give away information, because they're going to give away valuable information that is the secret to their success in a certain area. Yeah. Other pastors fear giving away too much information in the fear that they will run out of sermons. Unfortunately, this is a reality too, that many pastors only give sermons every Sunday. And what do you find? It just a sermon every Sunday and a little prayer meeting here on a Tuesday or a Wednesday with a little message here. Or maybe just a pastor, to give them the benefit of the doubt, they teach on a Sunday and on a Wednesday, a Bible class here and there. Well, if that's not enough, that's not the way God designed things, even though all the churches are doing it. And just because all the churches are doing it does not mean that it's right.